All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Yesharada that rule well. And salutations to you, Akim, out there in the highways and the byways, preaching his word in truth and in sincerity. To you, brothers, I say Shalom. This is the brother Shakal from GMS Chicago, coming at you with another lesson. And the topic that I'm going to touch on today was inspired by the precept of the day. You know, something we do here in GMS Chicago. And basically it was about, you know, we can't just, it's, this thing of ours is more than just knowing that we're Israelites. More than just looking like Israelites, you know? We got to have, you know, righteous works. You know, we gotta have the works of Abraham, you know, and what is that? That's being merciful, that's following the Lord in truth and in sincerity. That's having a perfect faith, you know. All of that is the works of Abraham. Because if you just know you're an Israelite, hey, the Most High, but you're being wicked, Salakia. If you know you're Israelite, but you're being wicked, not following the Lord, just saying, half-fasting, just being a hearer or a talker, but not a doer, the Lord is not going to consider you an Israelite, even though your lineage might go back, you know. Even though you know your lineage for sure goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you know, because keep in mind the wicked Pharisees and Sadducees, they knew that they were Israelites. They knew that their lineage went back and what tribe they were and all that. But guess what? That wasn't enough. Why? Because they weren't following the Lord in truth and in sincerity, you know. If you're not doing that, then guess what? You're not acting like a prince of Yahweh, which would basically what Israel means, and you're not going to be considered his people, you know. It's our actions, you know, our conduct that solidifies us being Israelites or not. No matter how much of an Israelite you may look like, or how much how well you know your lineage does go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man. You know. You know what? Let me start off with that one. That's John, I believe it's 4:20. I'm gonna get to the point. 22. It says, "You worship, you know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship him." So if you're seeking him in spirit and in truth, you know, following the law, statutes, and commandments, you know, to the best of your ability, being sincere, repenting, becoming the new man, guess what? The Lord will consider you an Israelite, man. You know, because that's what being an Israelite is all about. It's far more. Yeah, you do need to be of the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but that alone doesn't cut it. Your conduct must be of the ways of a son of Yahweh. You know, it says Yahweh is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth, man. And that's what Abraham did. Just look at the works that Abraham had. He was merciful. He was just. You know, he had, man, great faith in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. You know, hey, the Lord even said that, hey, I believe it's when he was about to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, he said, "I cannot hide this from Abraham, for I know he's going to guide his house aright." You know, so he knew that well, that proves that Abraham was just, you know. So it goes farther. It goes way farther than just knowing you're an Israelite, man. You know, we got to worship the Lord in truth and in sincerity. We got to be merciful. We got to have that brotherly love. You know, we you know, we got to follow this word to the best of your ability, not just be hearers or talkers, but doers, man. You know. This is Romans 2:13. For not the hearers of the law are just before Yahweh, but the doers of the law shall be justified, man. You know, because if you have faith in the law, in the Lord, you're gonna do the works that the scriptures say that the Lord commanded us to the best of your ability. Now, works alone don't cut it, you know, and faith alone don't cut it. You gotta have both, you know. And if you have all of that in a whole, and your lineage goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, guess what? You are an Israelite indeed, man. You are the Israel of God. You know? This is let's see. This is Romans 9:6. Not as though the word of Yahweh had taken on effect, for they are not all Israel, which are of Israel. You see? So you could be born in the homeland, you could have the records of what tribe you go back to, you know, but if you don't have the conduct of an Israelite, which is according to the scriptures, guess what? You're not considered an Israelite in the eyes of the Lord. You're considered a heathen, as Matthew the 18th chapter says. Count him as a heathen man. Why? How? If you go off, you know, it's farther than that, man. You know, the wicked Pharisees and Sadducees, they knew, man. They knew who they were. But guess what? Because they didn't have the works of Abraham, they weren't following the Lord in truth and in sincerity. Guess what? They weren't counted as Israel. This is Matthew 23:23. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. These ought ye to have done, and not to leave the other undone. You see? That's why he rejected them, because they left out the weightier matters, the thing that really solidified them being Israelites, man. You know? So if you want to be an Israelite, and you want the Lord to consider you an Israelite, hey, we got to do all of that, all the little things, you know, and especially the weightier matters. We do that, guess what? The Lord will count us as Israelites, man. Salaki Hakim. You know, so it's farther more than just knowing, man. Anybody can know, man. The Lord delights in the works that you have. This is John 8:38. It says, I speak that which I have seen with my Father, and ye do that which ye have seen with your father. This is, they answered and said unto him, Abraham is our father. How shall I say unto them? Like, so they were basically saying, look, we're Israelites. We go back to, Abraham, right? And this is what Yahweh Shai said. Yahweh Shai said unto them, if you were Abraham's children, you would do the works of Abraham, man. You see? So what actually makes you of that lineage? You know? You having the conduct of an Israelite, man. you know, which is the conduct that Abraham had. You know, you do that, you know, and of course the lineage does count too, but that's not good in itself. If you have both, then you are an Israelite, man. The Lord does consider you an Israelite, you know. You know, so it's far deeper, man. You know, that's why we can't get wooed off individuals just because they know they're Israel. Yeah, that's cool. It's beautiful seeing that they're waking up, but hey, are they really following the Lord in truth and in sincerity? Are they really, you know, are they really sincere? Are they merciful? Do they know? Are they really for true justice? Do they really have faith? You know. And us as well, examining ourselves. You know. Are we really just talking the talk, or are we actually walking the walk? Because if we're just talking the talk, hey, shit, we fall in that boat, man, and the Lord won't come and deliver us, man. You know, like we read in Romans, man, we got to be doers of the word, man. So I'm gonna finish off with this, you know, and hopefully, you know, this lesson is, you know, has been edifying, man. You know, and it lights up a fire for us to stay on point, you know, and have those works of Abraham, you know. So when the Lord comes back, hey, he will say, "Well done, my good and faithful servant," man. You know, He'll consider us our friend as He did Abraham, our forefather. You know. Hey, remember, the Lord is going to kill 2/3 of our people, man. You know, all of them go back to the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But why, you know, so that alone shows that that's not enough, man. You know, it's the works, it's that conduct, man. You know, how are you an Israelite, and Israel means a prince of a power, and you're acting like a heathen and not like a prince of a God, the God, the true and living power, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai. You see? This is Romans 2. And 28. For he is not a Jew which is one outwardly, see, neither is that circumcision which is outward in the flesh. So that alone doesn't cut it, man. You know, that alone, the outside appearance, you actually lineage going back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that doesn't cut it, man. Not even you being circumcised, man. Because a lot of people out here are being circumcised, but guess what? They're not following the laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of their ability. You know, so that makes that circumcision void, man, of non-effect. You know, what makes that circumcision of effect and makes you an actual Israelite, you know, is you doing that and following, you know, being circumcised, doing the works of Abraham, your lineage going back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you know, and all that, man. All that makes you an Israelite. Those things by themselves, without the works of Abraham, guess what? That doesn't mean anything, man. You know, so it's more than that. And no, this doesn't mean that heathens can make it either, man. This means that this basically means what the point I'm proving. It's not just about the outer appearance and your lineage going back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It's about that and you having the works. Okay, it says it in the next verse. It says, but he is a Jew, which is one. Salakia. But he is a Jew, which is one inwardly. It says, but he is a Jew, which is one inwardly, and circumcision is that of the heart in the spirit and not in the letter. It says, whose praise is not of men but of Yahweh. You know, and that goes back to that John 4, man. He seeketh meant to worship him, that worship him in spirit and in truth. You know, that's what actually makes you a true Israelite, man. And yes, your lineage still has to go back, but you gotta have both. It's not just one. You know, for you individuals or you heathens to try to say, oh well, this proves that we can make it too, because it's not. No, both of them. You gotta have both the lineage and the conduct of an Israelite. You know. Salakia. You know, and no, it's not just the works either, because you got to have that faith as well. You know, all that plays a part. If your lineage goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, if you have that true faith, which is the works of Abraham, and you actually have works that back up your faith, you know, and all that put together, you are an Israelite indeed, man. You know, so it goes farther more than just knowing. You know, we got to act the part as well, man. If not, we won't be saved. You know. So with that, you know, hopefully you, Brian, were edified. I believe I, you know, made my point. You know, I'm gonna end it by giving all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rakak Warash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Yesharala that rule well, and salutations to you, Akim, out there in the highways and the byways, preaching His word in truth and in sincerity. To you, I say Shalom and Abba Baba.